I'm filming a video that I am super excited about, and it is on the Take Me Back to Brazil palette from BH Cosmetics. So this palette has got 35 different shades, including a black shade and then 2 transformer shades that can also be used for inner corner highlight, brow bone highlight. So I'm going to show you these colors, tell you what I think about it, and then at the end I'm going to go ahead and show you how I got this pretty eye look today. So stay tuned. So first I'm going to tell you how I stumbled onto this palette. So the MAC X29 Lo-Fi / Jeremy Scott palette came out, and I'll show you guys a picture of that. It is $75, but it looks so beautiful, and I have really been wanting something with lots of different colors to do things with, and in the back of my head I really wanted to get that, but there's no way I could spend $75 on that palette. So I went searching for another colorful palette, and I started to do some research reviewing different palettes and reviewing the MAC one. So if you don't know, Jeremy Scott is a fashion designer who did a collab with MAC and created this beautiful palette. However, there are a lot of not so positive reviews on it, that it is not super pigmented. I haven't tried the MAC one, so I can't say my personal reviews on it, but I know I'm not going to spend $75 on it. And it is 0.5 something ounces. This Morphe Color Burst one is $23, and it is 1.98 ounces. And then my BH Cosmetics one that I got was $16, and I think it's 1.5 ounces. It's around 1.5 ounces. So when I'm looking to buy a palette, I'm thinking, how much am I going to use it? How much money do I want to spend on it? So I love Morphe shadows, but you can only get that Morphe one on the Morphe website. So I'm then going to pay shipping for it. But then I also think, like, these are small shadows, okay? So here's my fingertip. But how often am I going to use a palette like this? It's beautiful, but it's not an everyday look. I like doing fun, colorful eye looks, but in the scheme of things, I'm probably not going to hit pan on any of these. So $16 with a $3.50 off coupon from Ulta, which you can use on this, puts it down to, what is that, $12.50 for all those eyeshadows. So you're already getting more than the MAC one, and you're spending a ton less. Also, when looking up reviews on this, some people said that they weren't pigmented, some people said that they were, but a lot of people said that the MAC ones weren't very pigmented and that the pans were very tiny. So I ended up getting this one. I did this look today, which I would say is pretty pigmented and pretty beautiful. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to swatch these for you so you can see all the different colors, and then we'll do the look. So let's go ahead and get started with the swatches. I'm going to swatch 2 rows at a time, starting with the pinks. This is the first 2 rows. We are starting right here with the first row and with the second row. So you can just see there's a lot of different pink variations. Then we have the next 2 rows. Wow, I am not very good at swatching. Alright, so this is the next row, starting with the yellow going to this one, and this is the next row. This is a super light yellow that you probably can barely see going through the bottom of that row. So that one just gives you some nice different orangey tones, and then we've got some yellow and green shades there. And then we have got the next row starting here and going to this very light shimmery shade. Let me see if I can get a little more color there so you can see. So it's just a light green shimmery shade. And then we start with the blue rows from this one to this one is the end of that blue row. This is the blue that I used on my eyes today, and this is the green I used on my eyes today. So you can see that when you're putting it on the eyes, you can get it to be more pigmented than what it shows right here. This is the next rows of blue. So you see it's just different blue shades. I used these top 2 on my eyes today. And last, this is our last row of the purples. And then we've got the first transformer that's on the pink side, the black, and the transformer that's on the purple and blue side. You'll see in the tutorial that I do on my eyes, I did attempt to use both of these, and this one just came out a little chunky, but the one that is on the blue and purple side looks really pretty, and it has a little bit of a green shift to it. So those are our swatches. Remember, you can't always base how eyeshadows are going to perform from the swatches, but that just kind of gives you a good idea of the color that they are. So be sure to stay tuned to see this eye look and how these eyeshadows perform on the eyes. So my eyes are primed, and I'm just going to start off with putting some light browns in this transition area just to give us a little bit of a base, and I'm using my Jaclyn Hill palette and just these lighter two browns right here. Even when I'm doing a colorful eye, I still start out with just some light transition colors in there just to make sure everything blends out nicely. I'm just using a fluffy blending brush to do that. And I'm going to take my Take Me Back to Brazil palette, and I'm going to start out with this deeper green shade. These do not have any names or numbers on them, so I'll just point to them when I'm picking them out. And I go in with my Wet n Wild fluffy blending brush. Just lay that down. These shadows aren't too fallout-y. Don't have too much fallout, but I did just tap. I will just tap them off because they do have some. Put a little more of that color down. And then I'm going to go in with this bright green shade here. And it's right next to the other one we used. And put that on top of there. As always, the key to a good looking eye is blending, blending, blending. It's not going to be any different with these shadows. So far they do seem to be blending pretty well together. You saw with that first green one, I did have to go in twice with that, and it looks like I will with this too to get the color payoff that I want. I'm going to go in with this blue here. So it's the one in the middle of the blue and the purple. And I'm going to lay that down. On the outer V, bringing it all the way to the middle of the lid. Then I'm going to pull it across. Right into this crease. That one does look a little patchier to me. So pull a little more in there. See how that one looks a little bit patchier. Okay, then next I'm going to just go on the real little outer V with the darker blue color. think I'm going to take a mixture of this one and this one. One looks like it is satin finish and the one has little glitter particles in it. And then I am going to take just a tiny bit of the black. It's in the center of the bottom here. Real outside corner, just to kind of deepen that up a little bit. Now I want my lid, the inner part of my lid, to be very bright. So I am going to go in with my NYX eyeshadow base in white and a concealer brush. I'm just pulling that on the inner half of my lid. And then I'm going to go ahead and take this and wipe it off because it does have blue on it before I dip it back in. I look to really show off that it is green and blue. So I actually think I'm going to take this concealer brush that I just used for that to apply the colors. And I'm going to go in with this very light blue color first. And I'm going to put this on the center part. So it's going to blend in with the blues I was using on the outer part. But you can see since I put that base down, it's not going to blend so that I can't see the specific color. And we'll save that inside part for the green. Alright, and I am going to take this green shade right here. And place that on the inside corner. This is the same as the other one, like we saw with the blue one. You are going to have to go in a couple times with it to get the color payoff that you want. Okay, I always like to use my Balm one because that's a smaller one for blending out the crease once you have those colors down. Just going to kind of give it softer edges on that transition area. I really like how it looks right now, and I don't really want to do anything else with these, but I do want to show you how the transformers work. So we'll go ahead and do that. All right, let me zoom you in. Okay, so on this eye, I'm going to use the transformer that's on the side with the pinks. And I'm just going to use my finger. You can see how that kind of transformed it to a shimmery, and I have to say I'm not super happy with the way that looks right now. I think it looks a little bit chunky on this blue section right here. So let's see how the other one looks. I'm going to use the transformer on the side with the purple and blues. So this is just transforming mattes to a shimmer. Okay, that one looks a lot better. It's not real chunky, it just kind of gave it a little shimmer for it. I'm really happy with how those eyeshadows look on my eyes. I'm going to go ahead and finish up the eye look and be right back. So I have got mascara, liner, and my lashes on. So I'm going to go ahead and finish the bottom. And I also forgot to do my highlight. So since I liked this color a little more, I'm going to do this for the brow bone highlight. So now I've got a little pointy brush and I'm just going to take some of those colors that I use on the top onto the bottom. So I'm going to start with the light browns that I used. I'm going to pull that all the way across the bottom. This little brush, this is actually a paintbrush from Michaels for the light blue. Hoping I can just pick up some more with that. Yeah. Pull you in a little closer so you can see it. All right. So and I'm going to take that really light green and just put that right in the corner there. And take my NYX Worth the Hype for my lower lash line. And then last for this eye look, I'm just going to use a little bit of this for my inner corner. And I also just took my e.l.f. makeup remover pen and cleaned up the sides so that the liner just looked a lot sharper. So overall, I am really liking the BH Cosmetics palette, Take Me Back to Brazil. In the scheme of things, it's going to give me the different eyeshadow looks that I want from any colorful palette. It is the cheapest. It has a way more ounce of eyeshadows than the MAC Jeremy Scott one does. So just overall, looking at all those different aspects of it, I think this is a really good choice for just a fun, colorful one to throw in different colors into your looks. The only thing that I would say about this one is it did not have a true red to it. The red that it has almost comes off as kind of like a corally red, but not a red red. But then looking at the MAC one, it also says that it is a mid-tone red and not a true red. So that is my review tutorial swatches of the BH Cosmetics Take Me Back to Brazil palette. If you want to add a little color to your eyes, I would highly recommend this one. And I would tell you also to get it from Ulta so you can use your $3.50 off of 15 coupon. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I appreciate that you take time out of your day to watch my videos. Please subscribe and join me here for some more fun looks.